Good morning. I believe you doing great. So we are going to talk about today some machine learning concept. Definitely, this session is only for those who have attended my classroom training already. Just quick revision for everything. So as we know, we discussed about the data science, right? So after data science category, we have decided to move a small category in data science, that is machine learning. So machine learning is the one that we are going to deal about, right? Now in machine learning, we have also discussed about the three categories in general. There are more categories also. The first one was supervised, right? Supervised machine learning. Second was unsupervised machine learning, unsupervised machine learning, and third was reinforcement. So reinforcement machine learning, right? But we decided that day to explore supervised part. So I'm just taking this as a main. So in supervised also we generally have two categories: classification and regression. So the first one is classification, and second one is regression, right? And we have already discussed about classification and regression. Then in the classification, we have discussed about some classification algorithm like a decision tree, or we can say another one is k nearest neighbor. We'll be talking about this in future. Random forest, one of the most popular. It's a random forest, and support vector machine, and many more, right? Likewise. But before implementing classification algorithm, we have to remember few steps, right? So if you want to implement machine learning, then we have couple of framework. We have couple of machine learning frameworks, and those frameworks we discussed about that day. The first one, if you are using offline system, okay, in your laptop, the Windows, the next Mac, then definitely you can use scikit-learn. So scikit-learn is the one that is very popular for implementing your machine learning, supervised machine learning thing, right? And another one, if you're using AWS Cloud, you can use Amazon SageMaker. That is also popular. If you're using Splunk, you can use Splunk MLTK, right? It's a machine learning toolkit. And the fourth one you can use, uh, if you're using Spark, right? Apache Spark, then mlib is also an option to use it. And because you guys are also aware about Hadoop, so if you're using Hadoop, you can use a product called Apache Mahout, and here you can use machine learning thing, right? So we are going to use that because we know already we have installed it. But to implement any supervised based machine learning algorithm, we need a set, right? So we will be using scikit-learn for sure. Scikit-learn. So let's say we have some data, right? So the standard technique in machine learning is, if we have some data, then there is a technique, there is a method we can say. So first of all, we need to, pre-process that data, pre-process that data. And what is the meaning of pre-processing generally? Pre-processing means if there is some impurity in data, right? Impurity in data, or data is not correct, like we have some missing values or something. So under pre-processing you can improve that thing, because before processing anything you need some pre-processing. After this, if everything is good as of now, you can split this data, right, into two major category, right? So let's say you have a 500 set of data, 500 rows, and let's say four columns. So you can split this data into two major sections, let's say 90% and 10%, right? So 90% data will be for training of your machine learning algorithm. So it will be for training purpose and it will be for testing purpose, training and testing. When you split it, in this step, you can call your classifier, right? You can initialize your classification method. And what are the classification method? There are so many. A few of the method we discussed about here, decision tree, canon or something. So any of the method that you feel good about them, you can call them here. When you call the method, you have to fit that data. Fit means you have to train that data. So whatever data you have divided into 90% or maybe 80-20. The percentage can be 80-20 as well, right? Not a problem. So this data you need to supply here. So this process we are training our classification algorithm with that data. So as per the size or a couple of factors are there of data, training process can take time, right? It's not about size only. There are a couple of more factor in this process can take time. So whenever it take time, it will give a trained model, right? It will give a trained model of your classification. When you have this model, now this testing data that you have, the data is not trained, right? Because you have separated it. Now you can give this data to this trained model to predict. So this data will try to predict that thing. So when it will be predicting, it will be giving you the outcome, and definitely the original outcome you also know the outcome by predicting one. Then you can just apply a check. We call it accuracy check to check either the output is good or not. So this is the a very standard process you need to take care of. Let me take